as life goes on, you get kids and your business and you got more kids or you got more responsibilities, you got volunteer things. There's all kinds of things to do, not even just business, but just life in general gets busy and more things get stacked on, and we tend not to delete things.
At the beginning of the year, you and I will look over all the activities and volunteer stuff that we're doing, and we see, is this still a fit? Do we want to do something else? Do we want to change things up? Continue with this?
The fun gets pushed to the side because we got all these other things we're putting on our plate, and of course, time with each other. Thriving in Tandem. It's a podcast for you, the married entrepreneur that wants to win in business and marriage at the same time.
Welcome to Thriving in Tandem.
Hey, Thriving in Tandem family, welcome back to this week's episode.
Hi, you guys.
Now, where has the fun gone?
Where is the fun?
Where is the fun? Why don't we have fun anymore?
You're no fun anymore. You were fun before I married you.
I had still a lot of fun. We just got back from 18 days
of a dream vacation.
Anyways, and so for those of you that follow us on social media, you probably think that's all we do is have fun.
Yeah, we never work.
Now, I do think, because Kaylee and I had this discussion earlier, people think that's all we do is have fun. I said, yeah, and we don't, but I do believe we have more fun than most. And we hear these comments all the time, especially, after our trip in Italy and people were seeing our posts and stuff. But, we've heard this over the years, pretty consistently. And it seems like maybe now more than ever, maybe because of all the things that we've been doing lately. But, a lot of the comments are, we don't have fun anymore from married business owners.
Well, I just want to say real quick, too, we do work full time. So I don't want you guys to think that we're like never working. So,
and I've ever heard one comment from a lady at church. She says, we don't know how to have fun, which I thought was even more sad than we don't have fun. Right. And so
I wonder if they did know how to have fun when they were dating, though.
Yeah, but probably, I'm sure. Because, when you're dating, that's what you're supposed to do, have fun, right? You go on a date. But as life goes on, you get kids and your business and you got more kids or you got more responsibilities, you got volunteer things. There's all kinds of things to do, not even just business, but just life in general gets busy, and more things get stacked on, and we tend not to delete things, from our to-dos and from our activities and all that. We just accumulate more things. We just do more things. And so, of course...
And I don't think we ever looked that over. At the beginning of the year, you and I will look over all the activities and volunteer stuff that we're doing, and we see, is this still a fit? Do we want to do something else? Do we want to change things up? Continue with this?
Yeah, so what happens is the fun gets pushed to the side because we got all these other things we're putting on our plate. And of course, time with each other, right? And so this episode is going to be dedicated to fun. It's let's have fun again. Let's have fun in marriage and business. And I think when a big reason why life and business feels like a grind at times is because we don't stop to have fun. And fun doesn't have to be an 18-day vacation to Italy, right? I just talked to somebody recently. We had just had this conversation recently. And, I remember one couple that was on our podcast a while back, and they said for date night, because they have young kids, and they said for date night, it's, hard to go on date night, hard to find babysitters and all that kind of stuff. But what they'll do is, the kids are old enough where they said, give mommy and daddy an hour. And then what they would do is order takeout, get in their car, pull it out of the garage onto the driveway, and have a date. Right. So, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get creative. Right. So this episode is, all about let's have fun. Let's have fun in marriage and business, because we only have one chance at this life, one chance with each other, one chance in this period of time. So let's make sure we're enjoying the journey. And also, we're fresh off our first date night event. Right, honey?
Yes, it was so exciting. We had a wonderful time.
So we had a 4-course Italian dinner.
It was very yummy, you guys.
Paired with 4 Italian wines. And of course, being on the tail end of our trip to Italy, just kind of brought back memories, and also probably why I chose Italian.
Yeah, your mom would always ask me if I was Italian, and I would say to her, no, Mom, I'm not Italian. Your husband just loves Italian food.
Yeah, I do love it. But also, being friendly, you just also like to kind of revisit that a little bit. And so anyways, we invited, a lot of the married business owners we knew in the area. Most people were like just out of town. I mean, it is the middle of summer, and so a lot of people were out of town for one reason or another. But even when they were saying, "Oh, we can't make it because we're out of town," but they said, "Let us know for the next one because this sounds like fun."
Mhm.
And I even at the time I already had the menu put up on our website, so you can go to marriedentrepreneur.co slash events dash waitlist or just events, and you can see what we're up to
All the fun things, you
locally,
guys
and even the things we might be traveling to, so you can join us even if you don't live locally. Maybe you might want to participate in like our ski trip in
would
February.
love to meet you in person.
But we invited some of the local married business owners we knew. People were like just all enthused about it. Even the ones that couldn't make it, they were really excited about it, and they said, "Yeah, let us know for the next one." And so we had 7 couples, which I thought was a perfect number, especially
Mhm.
for the first one. And people really got to know each other.
Well, I loved it because it was, like, so intimate that you had time to kinda, like, walk around the table, meet each other, introduce one another, and, it wasn't like it was such a large party, where you didn't get to say hi to everybody.
Yeah, in fact, when we finally settled down to get the menus or get orders taken, when we finally sat down at the table, the couple next to me, to my right, he said, like, almost immediately, he said, "I needed this." And, big sigh. "I needed this." Basically, they've been, they're busy, like, most business owners. Um, and so anyways, and we heard that pretty consistently, right? Like,
Mhm.
"Oh, this is great. This is fun." They really enjoyed the people that were there too. So it wasn't just them with a nice dinner and wine and all that stuff, but it was also they enjoyed the people there, which was, I guess, a testament to how we handpicked the people that were there, right? And I think we just like cool people anyway, right? So I wasn't going to invite anybody that we didn't like. Let's put it that way, right? So clearly, if you got the invitation, we like you, right? We only want to be with people we like, especially if we're handpicking. So, anyways, I guess that was a testament to, I guess, we attract cool people. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, everyone just said, "Yeah, this is great. When's the next event? We needed this. Such a fun time." That really just confirmed what we kind of already heard and what we kind of already knew. And that's also why we're always so intentional about having fun, right? Is because we know if we don't plan it, it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
And so we decided when we got back from Italy was definitely like, I think we have to put a little mark in the calendar about the Italy trip. Well, it is in the calendar, but that was like when we returned, that's when I turned to Kaylee and I said, what if we did revolved our business around everything that we like to do
Mhm.
and just invite our audience, our married entrepreneurs, the people that we're targeting and for whether it's clients or people on our list or just, married business owners in general, invite them to have fun with us. And, because like I said, and I'm sure it's true in your house, if it's not on the calendar, it's not going to happen. So guess what? It doesn't happen. But now what we figured out was, why don't we plan it, invite you, put on your calendar and just show up, right? It takes the pressure off of the planning part, right? We'll plan it, you show up, right? And so it certainly proved that worked. And tomorrow evening is Concerts in the Park. We have the Pasadena Pops playing locally at the Arboretum, the local botanical gardens. And so we have, two couples that are coming. And in fact, I just got a text from Alex and Lonnie. I guess they remembered we talked about it at the dinner. He texted, "Oh, sorry, we can't make it. Is their father-in-law still there?" so,
Oh, okay.
but anyways, well, they remembered. I mean, we didn't remind anybody or whatever. We just kind of talked about what we're going to do next Saturday. It wasn't a big deal. And then next month we're gonna do movies on the beach, right? At
I've always
Hermosa
wanted to do that.
Beach.
I have not done that. That was on my list of one of the
Yeah, I
things.
think that's Hermosa Beach. And then in October, we're planning a chocolate and wine pairing.
I can't wait for that.
Now
You
that
guys, is your mouth watering
yeah,
already?
and that wasn't our idea. It was actually one of the couples we invited for the wine dinner. They said, "Oh, we don't drink," which you didn't have to drink anyway. The wine pairing was an option. But they said, "Oh, I like chocolate, and my wife likes, or maybe the
Chocolate.
other way around. My wife likes chocolate,
I
and
like
he likes
coffee.
coffee." And so I just texted them back. So, well, what if we planned a chocolate and coffee pairing one
Oh my
time?
gosh, chocolate covered coffee beans, they are so good.
Yeah. And so he immediately said, "Yes, we're there." I said, "Okay, make sure you're going to be in town." So I said, thinking September, October. He said, "October, we'll be in town." So I said, "Okay, we're going to plan it." And so we know a
Yeah,
coffee
small
shop and roaster
business in the
in town,
area.
and we know the owner, we know the roaster. And so immediately, like when I'm texting, that couple about the idea. So I immediately texted my friend Chris, who's the roaster. I said, "Hey, what do you think about a chocolate and coffee pairing event?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "That'd be
Count
totally
me in.
fun. That's totally fun." And so, anyways, we're gonna plan this out. Set the date.
We're gonna find a
We got a chocolatier.
chocolatier business, hopefully in our area. I Googled and they look like there were
There's
some.
there's a few, yeah,
'Cause
and
we are all about helping small businesses as well,
yeah,
and getting
and I
to
think
build relationships
well
with
these
them.
days I think chocolatiers are all small business. There's no big. I mean, I don't consider See's Candy like a chocolatier. That's just a commercial thing. Chocolatiers are the ones that really aren't. They're the chocolate snobs of chocolate, basically, right? But they source good, whatever. Anyways, we don't need to go into that. And then of course February we don't have the exact date set, so it's not on our website yet. But February we're going to Whistler, Canada,
Come on, you guys, you know you wanna
for a
come.
ski trip, and so I just was talking about it off the cuff with another couple, and they said, "Oh yeah, we want to come." So, anyways, like this is taking a life of its own. So yeah, clearly people are starved having fun,
Mhm.
right? We're so busy these days that just gets put in the back burner. And so, yeah, we invite you to come along. Just go to marriedentrepreneur.co/events dash waitlist and get on the waitlist, because not only are we planning things locally, but I also hear Whistler, Canada, but also when we travel. I mean, we've traveled quite a bit this year already,
For work and stuff.
and even if it's for pleasure, like wherever we can maybe plan a dinner or another chocolate coffee pairing or something, right? Another fun event, we will let you know. If we know, because in the form we want your city, your made the closest metropolitan city and state, so that way we know where everybody is. And then when we're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, for example, I go to the list and say, okay, who's in Atlanta, Georgia? Send an email out to everyone in that metro area and say, hey, we're going to be here. This is the event we got planned. Come along if you can, right? Um,
Don't wanna miss out.
so that's the direction we're having. So for you, like, how can you have fun, right? Ways to have fun. And so we're gonna number one, I think sometimes we get, at least for me, and you too, I think, like, what do we do? Like, what can we do this weekend or whatever? And so, Google's your friend. So
Mhm,
Google fun things to do in Pasadena. And we've even Googled fun free things to do in Pasadena,
mhm.
right? So things,
Especially in the summer, there's tons, all the
yeah,
free concerts and movies in the park and
yeah, you don't have to spend
free
money. You don't
museums.
have to spend any money. And so even events we're going to be putting on, not everything costs. Like the wine pairing dinner is pretty expensive, but the movies in the park's pretty inexpensive. Just get lawn seats. The movie in the beach is free, unless whatever you bring for food or your picnic, right? So you don't have to spend a lot of money. It doesn't have to be exotic and elaborate to have fun. So yeah, one way to find out things to do that you haven't done already is just Google. What are some things in your hometown, your area, that you can do? What are some fun activities? And you might be surprised. You might think you know of it all,
Mhm.
but you don't.
Yeah, I do this all the time. I just Googled the other day, I wanna go by and look at homes that were in movies in Pasadena area.
Oh yeah,
I love checking out the architecture and
yeah.
the beautiful homes.
Just found out Meryl Streep lives in Pasadena. It was posted somewhere. I was like, really? Haven't seen her around. But, yeah. So there's Google. You can use Google, and there's all kinds of other. There's probably apps too out there. I haven't looked, but I'm sure there's a fun app.
Oh, yeah, they got, like, hiking apps out there and all different meetups.
And look around. I mean, or ask around. Like, like I said, the coffee and chocolate pairing wasn't our idea. It really came from somebody else. But I said, hey, that sounds like fun.
Mhm.
And so it's like,
Well,
let's
if
do
they weren't
this.
really putting it together, one just said they liked chocolate and the other one said they liked
Yeah.
coffee, and then you're like,
Yeah.
"Ding, ding.
That's what I
Oh,
was
let's
saying.
put
It
it
was just an
together."
idea. Someone just said, well, this is what we like.
Like, "Thank
And
you,
so I
Lord."
said, oh, okay, that sounds like fun, actually. And, any kind of food pairing thing is always fun, right? Um, Anything with food attracts people. So ask around, ask your friends, ask your family members, what do you guys do? Or what do you like to do? Or even there might be things that you've wanted to do that you haven't done. So why not just do it,
Mhm,
plan it, right? Just do it. Or things that you used to do that you haven't done in a long time.
mhm.
Bring those things back up. So
And then some people say, "Oh, we don't have anything in common." I'm like, "Well, I'm sure if you sit down and brainstorm, you could find something the 2 of you would wanna do together."
yeah, yeah, for sure. There's always something, right? Because after all, you got together for a reason. So at some point, you did things that you both like, or maybe you didn't like it, but you just want a tractor. So like I don't know if I was, well, no, I was always interested in going to symphony, but Kaylee brought it up.
You weren't thrilled about it. You're like, "Well,
No,
if they have somebody singing, then I would probably be into it." And so, because we did this when we were first dating, we're like, What are some things that you've never done that you always wanted to do?" And I don't remember my whole list. One was scuba diving, one was going to a symphony, and I don't recall what the other ones were. And we did both of those before when we were dating.
yeah, that's actually how I got her to drive out to Pasadena because
I don't like to
I
drive.
think I remember we're talking on the phone and having this conversation, and then so I looked up after we hung up. I think I looked up. I was like, "Symphony? Is there a symphony in Pasadena?" And sure enough, there is. And they play at the Arboretums, the one we're going to tomorrow. And they play at the Arboretum, which is a beautiful botanical gardens. In
Mhm.
fact, part of the gardens was used as part of the set for Fantasy Island, especially the lake scene where the plane, the seaplane kind of pulls up. Yeah, the house is still there and all that kind of stuff. And so, anyways, I'll plan this. And so I booked it and I said, "Hey, I got tickets to the Pasadena Pops and they're playing at the Arboretum." And she
It
didn't
was
even
just they were playing show tunes, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I love going to the theater, so
and
this
she
will be
didn't think
fun.
twice. She came out even after she told me, early on, she says, "I don't drive.
I don't wanna drive."
I don't
Well,
want to
because I
drive."
wanted to be honest with you. I didn't want you to think I'm gonna drive 2 hours to come see you every weekend, so
And there she is. She came out.
yes, I did.
And so the symphony. So, anyways, yeah, so I'm sure there are things that you've done in the past, right?
Mhm.
Where you had fun. So just maybe revive some of that stuff. And just gotta sit down. Like when it comes to having fun, whatever it is, even the smallest of things, just go in the park, walk in the park, calendar it, right? I mean, I
Mhm.
don't know. I'm sure we're not the only ones. And I know everybody at some form of, even if you don't use a calendar, because some people just kind of go with the flow, but they have to think about it at the top
There's
of their head.
people like
In a way, right? They don't necessarily put everything on the calendar, but they have it either written down or there's something, right?
mm.
There's
So they do have a system of some
some
sort.
system, whatever it is. I just know that the very common thread, we always get agreement on this, right? If it's not on the calendar,
Mhm.
it doesn't happen.
Yep, in our house, that's so true.
And so you got to sit down with your spouse and say, okay, what can we do? What are some ideas that we can do?
Mhm. And I usually do it like you're really good about planning. Me, not as much. But the beginning of right before summer hits, I will go because there's certain areas that we like to go for concerts in the park, and those are free. And then there's some that aren't free. But I will go and I'll check out the website and I put it all on the calendar so you can look at it because I put it on your calendar too to
Yeah.
see if it's something you might like to do. So we know ahead of time when they're coming, and then we can, decide if we wanna go or not. Because
Yep.
if it's not on the calendar at all, I will totally forget about it,
Mhm.
and then it won't happen.
Yeah. We actually had an impromptu fun night, date night
Mhm.
2 nights ago at the park in Glendale where a really fun 80s tribute band called Past Action Hero was playing. I saw it, I think that day. I think I saw it. And I said, or maybe the day before. I think I saw it on post on social media because I follow them,
Oh,
follow
you
the
do?
band. And so they said they're playing it in Glendale. I'm like, oh, okay, that'd be fun. So, we had an impromptu one. It was Wednesday night, went out, and it was packed. It was packed. And they're fun. They dress up in costumes. Like the guitarist is dressed like Punch from Chips,
Mhm.
the show Chips.
So he's
The
dressed as a cop.
yeah, and looks like Punch. He has the black
I
wig and
know,
the
but not
glasses.
everybody might not know who Punch is.
Yeah, from Chips, the show Chips. The drummer is the late Hulk Hogan. He's dressed like Hulk Hogan.
The
The
wrestler?
bass player is Don Johnson,
Mhm.
and then the lead singer is Macho Man. So, anyways, it's all 80s thing, right? And so, anyways, calendar. You just sit down. You just got to sit down. So even, we're having fun just planning like our date night events or our date events for our market, our community. And so we sat down, like, okay, what do we want to do? Like, what are some fun things to do? And what are some fun things we haven't done? It's like the movie night, right? So, basically what we decided to do is just let's plan it because we're going to do it anyway, right? And it gave us another, it's almost like planning this for other people also gave us another excuse to do something
To do things we
that
like
we
to
haven't
do.
done,
Mhm.
or even things we haven't done. And so things we like to do, things we haven't done yet. So definitely you got to sit down. But all that to say, you just got to sit down talk to your spouse and just calendar and say, what do you want to do? Let's do some fun. What do we want to do next week or next month or whatever. And also, try to plan something regular, um, even daily. Can you do anything daily? Like we have our evening walk before dinner, that's just unwinding,
Mhm.
right? And decompressing.
And I smell the roses. Robert never says anything, but there's one house that has these beautiful roses. Every time I walk by there every day, I gotta stop him and the dog stop and wait for me while I smell the roses
Yeah,
because that's enjoyable to
she
me.
literally stops and smells the roses.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then the last thing we want to cover around having fun.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say too, talking about the calendar is like, I'm very fortunate because Robert is a planner, so he will plan. If it was up to me to plan a date, they wouldn't happen as much.
Yes. So the calendar is one thing. The other thing, off of what you just said, it wouldn't happen, is sometimes you gotta force having fun.
Cause like sometimes I want to do these things, but I just don't plan it. You know what I mean?
So there's part of it is like I have to almost literally drag her out because she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, we're gonna do this. We got to drive all the way up to Santa Barbara, which is an hour
Mhm.
45 minutes away, up to 2 hours depending on traffic. It could be longer." But she'll be like, "We got to drive all the way to Santa Barbara,"
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Honey, it's Santa
5
Barbara.
hours.
It's not 5 hours. I mean, it's Santa Barbara." I'm like, people would kill to spend a day in Santa Barbara, and here you are whining about it, right? But of course, once we get there,
Okay, you guys, I don't know if any of you can relate. If you can, let me know. I'm all about the fun. No one loves to have more fun than I do. But I don't know what it is about getting out of the house. It's like, oh, I could
she's
do
like,
one more thing, you know what I mean, around the house for work. You always find something else that you can do. And it just gets hard to get out of the house. I don't know what it is with me.
oh, she's like turning into a shut-in.
Well, not a shut-in, but, you can always find that one more thing to do.
Well, like I'll go out to
Oh,
grab
here we go, you
grocery.
guys. You
What?
what are you gonna tell a story on me?
No, I
Oh.
just say, well, somewhat,
Yeah,
but
see, I know you guys.
no, like sometimes I'll just go maybe grab some groceries or something like that, bananas, or grab a cup of coffee or something like that. And Kaylee is like, "No, I'll do it. I'll do it when I go out, da, 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 or we can do it tomorrow." And I'm like, say, "No, I
'Cause
just."
I like to organize my trips out, like, gas is $5 a gallon, and so I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna be in that area, I'm gonna do all my, uh, stuff in that area in one day to be organized and
But
be productive."
yeah, that sounds good. But sometimes I just need to get out. So I just do it to get out. It's just more an excuse to get out. But anyway, so sometimes you got to force fun. One way, couple
So you
ways.
force me to have fun?
Yes, it's not, and there could be worse things. So there's two ways that force. So early on, this is before I met Kaylee. I bought a timeshare. That's through Disney World. Bought a timeshare, and so I remember when Kaylee and I got together, she was talking about how it's not a good investment,
I
yada
wanted
yada
to get
yada.
rid of it.
She wanted to get rid of
I
it and all
still
that
do.
stuff. And so, every once in a while, when she starts whining about this, what I would do is I'd book a weekend to the Hotel Del in Coronado Island, right down by San Diego. It's a beautiful turn in the 1900s hotel.
Mhm.
Um,
Right on the
celebrities,
water.
everybody's
You
lived there.
see all the bases right there. So you
The Navy
see
base.
yeah, you
So
see
where
all
they
the
film, yeah, where they filmed Top Gun. It's all right there.
jet flyers going overhead. You see the helicopters, and then they're practicing in the water, like doing
Drills.
drills. Thank you, honey. And I don't know, I just love to watch it. And they just zoom by those jets.
And we usually get an oceanfront room.
Hmm.
And so, anyways, and then she'll go, "Oh, this is
I love the
nice.
beach.
This is nice." Because I know if it wasn't for the timeshare, she wouldn't want to spend the money to go get that room. True?
Oh, you've been saving this one up, haven't you? Oh, I've been saving this one up just for this
So
podcast.
no, that's not true. I've said this before. So, anyways, getting back to the force of having fun. So, the reason why I bought the timeshare to begin with wasn't I told Kaylee, I said, true, it's not a good financial investment. I get the math. I understand. But it's an investment into my vacation, into my fun time. Because I know, and I know Kaylee's the same way, if you pay money for it up front and use it, it's use it or lose it, basically. We're using it, right? And then you get there and you're like having fun. Where that's okay. Where are the places we've gone to? Hawaii,
Guys, we
Italy,
trade our timeshare
um,
for different places. We don't go the
yeah. I don't
place
think
every year.
I think we only stayed at Disney World twice in the 20
And
something years
neither
we've
are
had it.
we telling you guys to go buy one, so please don't
No,
do that either.
I mean you do it for what you want to use it, right? I use it as an investment to fund because I know I'm going to use it because I don't want to lose it. And so, but wherever we traveled, we've gone to Belize, of course Hawaii, Italy. We use it for Italy and our trip to Italy. Of course, it just told you Coronado. Our ski trips pretty much our ski trips are pretty much using the timeshare points. We travel every year, right? And a lot of it, we make sure we use our timeshare stuff. And so sometimes you got to force yourself to have fun because if I didn't have, I don't, if we didn't have the timeshare, I don't think we would have done as much,
Hmm.
right? And then the other thing I forced ourselves to have fun with is our wine club.
Oh,
So we joined this wine club up north of Santa Barbara. They have great Chardonnays and really great Pinots as well. And I joined it primarily for two reasons. One, three reasons really. One was it wasn't a lot of wine for every shipment. So a lot of times it's a quarterly shipments and you get like 6 wines, right? And I said, I don't want to drink that much of the same wine all the time. And so it's only 2 wines. And it's not per quarter, it's per trimester. So it's instead of every 3 months, it's every 4 months. So they weren't inundating you with a lot of wine. So that was reason one, number one and two. Like we really enjoyed their wines, especially their Chardonnays, because we don't drink white wines typically anyway. But if I'm going to have one, I want a good one. And their Chardonnay is really good. And they also have good Pinot. So anyways, good wine. They don't inundate you with a lot of wine every time, every shipment. The second one is it's in San Ynez, and they also have a tasting room in Santa Barbara. So Santa Barbara is just about 45 minutes closer than San Ynez, where the actual winery is. So I figure I know Kaylee won't want to pay for shipping. So I figure we go up and pick it up because it's a day to Santa Barbara. Right. And so we had these conversations still almost every quarter or every trimester. So I say, hey, let's go pick it up. She's like, we got to go all the way to Santa Barbara to pick up the wine. I go, yeah,
because I'm thinking all the things I could be doing in
it's Santa
that
Barbara.
whole day.
Once every 4 months, we go to Santa Barbara.
Mhm.
Right. That's in the big scheme of things. That's not a big deal. But as you're sharing, Eddie, it feels like a big deal at the time, but really in the big scope of things, it's not a big deal. And of course, once we get there, we have fun. We pack a lunch. We have lunch at the beach first. Of course, we bring Pippa, and then we go do our tasting, pick up our wine, and then we might pop around the pier or whatever a little bit. Drive home. Sometimes we stop at a great seafood place down in Ventura Harbor on our way home, and then we make our way home.
Mhm.
Right, and so a great day. Right.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
Yeah. So that's an example of sometimes you got to force yourself to have fun. So I put ourselves in a situation, especially when money's involved. One of you is definitely the saver. So you're definitely not going to want to waste, if you're paying for something, let's use it. Right. So that's a little, some little tips from us of how we find fun. We search, we ask around, definitely got a calendar, and sometimes you just got to force yourself to have fun.
Well, and I wanna say too, when we did our date night event, that was really good for my soul. It was great to be around so many quality people and seeing people having fun. We laughed so much. Oh my gosh, you guys, laughter is the best medicine. When was the last time you had, like, a good, strong belly laugh, you know what I mean? And, we played some different games. People had fun with that. And, yeah, I just think having fun is, like, underrated because it lowers your, cortisol levels, gives you in a better mood, your creativity is a lot higher because when we are working and always doing something, then we need to produce and we're driven and we're striving and we're focused. There's not a lot of room for creativity there.
Hmm.
And,
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't take much to shift your mood, to lighten the load, and get a better night's sleep as well too, because you just go to bed feeling so much better and happier,
Yeah.
and people are gonna wanna be around you more.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd be a better person. And yeah, everybody had a lot of fun. People just hung out. Even we had to actually kick everybody out because the restaurant was closing. So
Well, I think
um,
people are kinda, like, wanting to get back in person
attention
more
starved. Yeah, for sure.
because there's still a lot of Zoom, which is nothing wrong with Zoom. We love Zoom, but there's nothing like in person.
And, another couple was saying, yeah, we don't have any entrepreneur couples that we know, and so,
Friends, yes.
being able to be around people that get it, right?
Mhm.
Because there's only a few, like I guesstimated or did some math, and there's basically only about 6.7% of the population are married and have a business, right? There's about 9% of the population are business owners, and about 2/3 of them are married.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, there's not a lot of people, and especially a lot of couples that can relate to what you're going through.
Yeah,
And
it's very
so,
isolating.
yeah, and
Like, you feel like
so
you're alone and on this island by yourself.
yeah, so when you're around other, like-minded people, other business owners, you can share more freely because they get it. They can
Mhm.
empathize what you're going through. Also encourage you too. And also just I think there's a certain kind of mentality too. I think there's a different mindset. I think entrepreneurs have a certain mindset that's somewhat unique to most of the population. And so there's
'Cause a lot
just
of people think we're weird. They're
yeah,
like,
there's
"Oh my
just
gosh, why would you do that? That's too hard. Don't you want an 8 to 5 job?" And, it can be discouraging
Yeah, so
sometimes.
there seems to be like that instant connection, right? And so clearly we saw that last Saturday, and it was so much fun. So we are so looking forward to this next season of what we do with Thriving in Tandem. It's Thriving in Tandem Date Nights or Thriving Tandem events. And so, yeah, if you want to check it out, like I said, you don't have to live in the Pasadena area because we may be coming to a location near you, or you may want to travel to one of the retreats or the things that we're doing, whether it's in the mountains or lake or beach or whatever. But go to marriedentrepreneur.co /events waitlist and just get on our waitlist. And
You can travel with us. You can see where we're going, you guys.
yeah, so you don't have to just watch us on Facebook. So anyways, thank you for listening. I'm sure this hopefully inspired you to go plan your next date night or plan some next events, some next fun activities, and just calendar it down. Just go have fun, right? Invite some other people along too. So until next week, God bless you. Thank you for listening to the Thriving in Tandem podcast. Please visit our website, marriedentrepreneur.co, for a variety of free resources to help your marriage and business succeed.
And feel free to leave us a review and share this episode with another married entrepreneur. That would mean so much to us.
See you next week.